Something big is brewing in Winnipeg as the Winnipeg Jets have been dominating the entire National Hockey League as they continue their historic run running into the playoffs with key players stepping up, their goaltenders setting records, and everything seems poised for the Winnipeg Jets to make a deep run. We're going to break down the historic numbers, what this team is doing, and more later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're a part of the 91% that's not subscribed yet and you're enjoying this Winnipeg Jets or NHL content, make sure to go down and hit that free subscribe button. We'll keep you up to date on your Winnipeg Jets and the rest of the National Hockey League. But Darius, we get off straight into the first topic today, where we did see going into last night's game, we seen reports coming out that this is easily, if not the biggest regular season game for the Winnipeg Jets in franchise history. They've never won the Central, West, or President's Trophy, and going into the game against Dallas, they came out victorious with a 4-0 win to secure them as one of the top teams in the NHL and looking like favorites to win the President's Trophy. Now, what's your initial thoughts on just how good this Jets team has been this season?
Well, keeping tabs on the team all season, there's a couple things that really impressed me with this year's iteration of the Winnipeg Jets. First of all, when they have lost, their ability to bounce back and not let it spiral into something that's a little bit, catastrophic like we see with some other teams and even elite teams in the league. So their ability to bounce back and their ability to, and this is big heading into the playoffs, recognize a moment that you need to step up to and play your best hockey. And that was last night. The Dallas Stars are a great team, right? And they're going to finish pretty high in the standings in their own right. And they're probably going to end up playing the Colorado Avalanche. It's going to be an insane series to start off the playoffs in round one. But this is about the Winnipeg Jets. And again, their ability to bounce back and just rise to the occasion. They did that again last night with a huge 4-0 win. And like mentioned here, they've never won the division. They've never won the West. They've never won the President's Trophy. But this season, they have an opportunity to do all three by the end of the year when it's all said and done. And, the end of the season is creeping up on us very quickly. There's only 3 games left for the Winnipeg Jets. Now, there is a team that is trying to catch them that has a game in hand. And obviously, we're going to keep tabs on that. But the Winnipeg Jets have a great opportunity in front of them. And this is all great in terms of regular season success. And if you're the Jets organization, of course, you want to be able to say, we won the President's Trophy. We're the best team in the entire league in the regular season. And we won the West and we won our own division in the same year. That's fantastic. But you also want to win the Stanley Cup. There is another trophy at the end of the line there that you want to win. And I have seen some things from this team that suggest they will not repeat what happened last year. But again, a lot of it does, rely on and, is on the shoulders of Connor Hellebuyck as well because of what we saw last year in the playoffs. And he's another guy we're going to get to. But this team has been really impressing me this season.
And the biggest thing is, we're going to touch on Hellebuyck real quick. He was the first goaltender, well, the 7th, but the first one in Jets history and 7th all-time to win 45 games in a single season. Looking at the list of players, there's a couple good names headlined by players like Marty Brodeur, Roberto Luongo, Braden Holtby. You can work your way down. Hellebuyck is actually at 44 and 45. He can go up farther in this list as well. This is the best goaltender in the National Hockey League, and honestly, my favorite to win the Hart Trophy. But looking at the team alone, this team has done everything that management has asked for. They've rewarded them going out and picking up key players. I mean, Luke Schenn has looked great on this team as well. Tanev has looked great and a spark plug on the team to keep the momentum going. But Darius, looking at this lineup and just kind of throwing it back to Connor Hellebuyck real fast, what's your thoughts on his historic season and just how well he has been playing this season? I mean, looking at 45 wins, a 920-something save percentage. This guy has been lights out for the Jets.
Absolutely. And I'm a big believer in everything goes through your goaltender. How your goaltender is playing, the saves and the quality of play that he's playing at will affect the rest of the team and how calm the rest of the team plays. And as we know this season, whenever Eric Comrie was in net, they didn't win that often. For some reason, they could not find goal scoring when Evan Comrie was in net this season. But when Connor Hellebuyck's in there, they're cool, calm, collected. They know this guy is going to make the big saves for them, and they just do their thing offensively. I don't know if it's, a mental thing with both goalies. I'm not saying that they don't trust Comrie story in the net, but there's just something about Hellebuyck that you know he's going to come up big for you. You can play a little bit more relaxed. So they've been an unbelievable offensive team so far this season, and not just the offense themselves, like the forward group. They're one of the best teams in the league in terms of offense from their defense as well, which is something that I think that they're going to, it's going to pay off for them, I think, in the playoffs, because there's a lot of teams in the playoffs that don't have that luxury either. And Neil Pionk, just to name a name, obviously Josh Morrissey doing his thing. And then you added some other defensive guys like Luke Shen, like you mentioned, right? And then, Brandon Tanev's made a huge difference there on the fourth line. So really like this team. But to get back to the goaltending specifically, excuse me, Connor Hellebuyck makes a huge difference. Now, the only thing is, heading into the playoffs, does last year repeat itself? I don't think so, but there is always the possibility for that. And obviously, playoffs in hockey is 90% mental. So if you get in your own head, it could spell trouble. But we'll see how this year goes. And we don't know exactly who their opponent is going to be yet, but it's going to be a good team, right? And a team that is riding a high. Like if it's St. Louis, that's going to be a tough out, right? So Connor Hellebuyck's got to come up big, but I think he has it in him. We expect him to have seasons like this at this point. And, is the Vezina trophy in sight this season? I think it is. I think he probably does win it.
And I mean, the biggest thing is, listen, looking at Hellebuyck and the team's success, he has had 2 shaky games within his last 5, but hey, get the jitters out before you head into the playoffs. But this team as a whole have been scoring at an insane rate, and looking at one player in particular, Kyle Connor has been outstanding. 40 goal scorer, 94 points. He might actually break 100 points. Is going to be a little tough to get those 6 extra points. 28 years old. He has cemented himself as one of the best goal scorers in the National Hockey League. I mean, I'm going to throw it back to you again, Darius. What's your thoughts on the success on the offensive end and just how well Kyle Connor has played for this Jets team?
I think a lot of Jets fans knew that he had it in him. And obviously we've seen a lot of the score. Like, he's one of the best pure goal scorers in the entire NHL, but he's just added another element to his game so far this year. And I say so far this year, but this season, since it's wrapping up and we're heading into the playoffs. But, he's not too far behind in terms of goal scoring with his assists. Obviously, he's a great goal scorer. He's putting up incredible numbers all throughout. And the other thing for me is he plays a lot. Like, he's playing an average of almost 21 minutes. I think that's pretty impressive. Not a lot of people look at that either. So he's been great for the Winnipeg Jets this season, and just continuing to put up points, leading the way, leading by example too. So if he continues to do that in the playoffs, which he has in the past, he's had some really, really good playoff performances. I think they're going to be all right, but it's just kind of what happened last year, I think, left a sour taste in a lot of Jets fans' mouths. But I think the Jets are ready to right those wrongs, and they added a couple really good pieces at the deadline this year that can help them get over that hump. And again, heading into the second round, you're going to face somebody that's really, really good. So it doesn't really matter who you end up playing. If you want to win the Stanley Cup, you got to beat every team, right? Everyone who's standing in your way, you got to beat them. And they've been really good this year. So it's going to be exciting to see what he can do in the playoffs as well.
And I mean, the biggest thing is, listen, talking about the President's Trophy, before we sum this up, they are just ahead of the Washington Capitals. The Capitals have a game in hand. But if the Jets continue winning, if they just win 1 to 2 more games, they have the President's Trophy. I know there's the President's Trophy curse, which the Winnipeg Jets fans don't want another curse brought onto this team. But I mean, listen, they have been dominant this year, being one of and the best team in the NHL. Connor Hellebuyck having 45 of their 54 wins, which is just mind-blowing. I mean, this guy has to win the Vezina. He's going to win the Hart. There's no doubt about it. But Jets fans, what's your thoughts on the season? Do you think this is the year that they finally break the curse and go on a historic run to win a Stanley Cup? What's your thoughts on Connor Hellebuyck? Is he the best goaltender in the NHL, and how close do you think it is? Because I don't think it's even close at this point. He has cemented himself as one of the best around the world. Who's your favorite Jets player? Let us know down in the comments. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back with another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark, with my co-host Darius, and take care.